Hello everyone and welcome to Aviation A to Z Presents Versus. Today we are going to discuss about detailed steps to get Dgca and EASA license, and at last we will compare them. So let's get started. But before we start, if you want to know about national authorities like FA and Dgca and about international like ICAO and EASA, watch my video on it by clicking I button and subscribe our channel to keep yourself updated. Dgca is India's national aviation regulatory body under Ministry of Civil Aviation and works for betterment of aviation in India. Dgca has various departments to carry out many aviation-related activities. Dgca issues AME license for all maintenance personnel under Government of India. Let's see how to get Dgca license, a detailed step guides, and I would like to thank Mr. Ganesh sir for providing us some valuable information and Saurabh sir for cross-verifying it. Let's see steps to get AME license. Number 1. Complete your AME course and clear all modules. Step 2. Gain basic experience as per Dgca guidelines and company policies. Step number 3. After clearing all modules and gaining basic experience, you need to submit it to Dgca headquarters and they will issue basic license called BAML without type rating. Step number 4. As you have submitted your experience in form of logbooks, they will take your interview and after 2 to 3 months, they will give authorization for doing type-rated training. Step number 5. After that, you need to do on-job training. Remember, this on-job training is different from on-job training during your course and it will last 6 to 9 months for category A and more for category B. Step number 6. After submitting this experience, Dgca will again take interview and after passing, you will be issued your Dgca license. Now let's see how it works inside the Dgca framework. Number 1. All module examination is carried out by Central Examination Organization CEO in accordance with Rule 61 and Schedule 2 of Aircraft Rule 1937. Next, the Licensing and Training Department will verify all your document and forward it to Director of Airworthiness. Director of Airworthiness Department, after verifying and taking interview, will issue Dgca license. And that's how you get your Dgca AME license. EASA is actually international authority under European Union to standardize European sky. All 28 European Union countries plus 4 other countries are part of EASA membership. And EASA will issue AME license or EASA Part 66 license to all its member states. Similar to Dgca, as I told you earlier, we have adopted EASA. Remember, all criteria is for Group 1 large and commercial aircrafts. Step number 1. Gain basic knowledge and clear your modules. Step number 2. Gain basic experience in any aircraft maintenance organization which is EASA Part 145 approved or Subpart F approved. Step number 3. Apply for basic aircraft maintenance license to EASA MS competent authorities and you will get blank AML and must have minimum 18 years of age. Step number 4. Now after passing type training, theoretical exam and practical assessment, you need to get authorization for on-job training. Now step number 5. After finishing on-job training in any 145 or Subpart F approved organization for first type rating only, later no need to do OGT, just basic type rating will do. Number 6. EASA competent authority will issue license and that's how you become EASA approved aircraft maintenance engineer. Now let us compare them both. Let us first talk about validity and eligibility. Both Dgca and EASA license is valid for 5 years. Dgca license is valid only in India while EASA license is valid in whole Europe and in foreign organization which is EASA Subpart F or Part 145 approved. So EASA is winner here. Number 2. Can we work in India with EASA license? As I said, we can work with EASA license in Part 145 approved organization. So in India, those organizations having such approval, we can work for them. Example, Air India, GMR, etc. Number 3. Can we work in foreign countries with Dgca license? Currently, answer is no. You cannot work in foreign nations with Dgca license as AME, but Dgca course pass out students can work in foreign maintenance organization or airlines as technician and clear the national authority modules and gain some experience to become AME there. So currently talking, EASA is better than Dgca, but EASA course is costlier 4 to 5 times than Dgca, and Dgca has adopted EASA, and we have some good relationship with European countries, and in future both EASA and Dgca license may be standardized. At last, to summarize, both EASA and Dgca has its own advantages. If you really want to work in India, then go for Dgca, and if you want to become AME in foreign, then go for EASA. That's it for today. Finally, thanks for watching. I hope you have learned something new and cleared your doubt about EASA and Dgca license. Subscribe this channel and click on bell icon to never miss our videos. Share this video with all your friends and colleagues to help them solve their doubts. If you are still watching, here is your bonus. A sample of both EASA and Dgca license. And there are many foreign operators like Singapore Airlines and European carriers recruiting Indian EASA license AME to work in Indian line station. So you can get benefits of staying in home country and yet getting European standard recognition. So see you in next video. Finally, keep learning and keep watching. Stay safe. God bless you all.